And that breaking news tonight, a guilty verdict in the terror attack in Lower Manhattan on Halloween 2017. After a day of deliberations, a jury convicted the extremists who killed 8 people. Thank you for joining us for the Pix 11 News at 4. I'm Erin LeBeau.
And I'm Tamsin Fidel. Well, the verdict came down just a few moments ago. The suspect now faces a death penalty for driving a rented U-Haul onto a bike path in 2017, killing 8 people.
Yeah, Pix 11's Mary Murphy has been covering this case since the beginning, and she joins us live outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Mary.
Hi, Erin and Tamsin. We were almost surprised when the judge announced there was a verdict at 3 p.m. today. That's because the jury had so many questions about whether or not Sayfullo Saipov had tried to join ISIS by conducting this terror attack. As it turned out, ultimately the jury believed that he did try to join, and so he was convicted on all 28 counts. We have a graphic to show the key counts that he was just convicted of in the federal courtroom here on the 24th floor. Murder to gain access to ISIS. Assault with a dangerous weapon to gain entrance to ISIS, attempted murder to gain entrance to ISIS. There were 8 people who were killed that day on the bike path on West Street in Lower Manhattan. It was the first deadly terror attack on U.S. soil since 9/11, and it was so tragically ironic that this attack took place in the shadow of the Freedom Tower, which was built after the Twin Towers came down in 2001. Sayfullo Saipov came to the United States in 2010 with a green card. He was from Uzbekistan, and he tried to run away from the smashed Home Depot truck that he used in this attack. It weighed 6,000 pounds. He had rented it in Passaic, New Jersey, at that Home Depot there. And then he drove over the George Washington Bridge and drove down West Street and really started speeding up when he hit the bike path, and there were photos that showed the mangled bicycles after he hit all those people. He killed 8. 5 of them were Argentine tourists. They were here on a reunion from high school. They knew each other for 30 years. There was a Belgian tourist who was riding a bike with her sister and her mother. And then there were 2 local residents, Nicholas Cleves, just 23 years old, from New York, and Darren Drake from New Jersey, both killed also on that day, Halloween 2017. I was in court when the verdict was read. Nicholas Cleves' mother was there, and so was one of the widows of the Argentine cyclist, Diego Angelini, and they hugged each other when the verdict was read. We really didn't see much of any reaction from Sayfullo Saipov, who has been in custody since that day. He was shot by police when he tried to run away from the smashed truck. In the hospital, an FBI agent said he tried to ask about hanging an ISIS flag. But as I mentioned earlier, the jury had some questions this morning about whether he really did this in the name of ISIS or just out of religious fervor. It was an incredible trial, very short trial, and more than 5 years in the making because the pandemic slowed so many things down. This is a breaking story. We're here outside federal court waiting for families to come out if they're willing to speak. There are a lot of U.S. Marshals here. There will be a death penalty phase in this case because this is the first death penalty case that has happened under the Biden Justice Department. On February 6th, this jury will return to federal court to decide whether Sayfullo Saipov should face the death penalty or life in prison without parole. We'll have a lot more at 5 and 6. Tamsin and Aaron.